It's showtime at Homestead-Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Logan to Baxter's in trouble, there they go. Gordon's in the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass,
yeah.
and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 6 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the first time ever, not the finale here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, only race number 6 of the season, but we're still glad to be here. We're glad you're here on this Saturday evening for the New Era 400. 54 laps of action here tonight around this 1.5 mile speedway in Homestead, Florida. And I hope you all are staying safe amidst this very interesting time, I might say. Of course, I do appreciate everyone's support. After I almost had a mental breakdown last weekend, I'm feeling much better now, and I'm glad we're all here, and I'm glad I'm here doing this race for you guys here on this Saturday night in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and it's going to be a fun one here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We saw the Turkey Hill Series race last night, and that was a great race, and we've seen all the races we've had here at Homestead before. Many times it's been the finale race, the first time it's not been, but that does not mean the racing is going to change. They're going to be working that middle lane, getting runs on the outside, and we're also going to have a set of pit stops in this race as well, which we've only had in one prior Homestead race, which was last year's finale. But we're going to go ahead and do it again, see how it all works out. Hopefully we won't have the same issue that we did at Atlanta, where everyone except Shane Lake came down the pit lane at the end of the race. Shane Lake, our last winner here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and he currently sits 8th in the points. But I'm assuming we're going to have a pretty good race here tonight, and I'm looking forward to see who gets it done here. We've only had 4 different winners so far this season. I mentioned Shane Lake. Alexander Rose won twice already, and then Jesse Turner and Andrew Miller winning the other 2 races that we've had this season. But one guy who's been doing really solid this season is the driver, number 40, Bradley Ream. Currently leads in the points standings after 5 races, 177 towards the championship for him. Reagan Whitlock is second in the points. Whitlock starts 7th in this race and won the first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here at Homestead all the way back in season number 1. Nathan Baer, last year's champion, is 25 points behind. Ryan Durrani, really solid year for him. Of course, he's the teammate to Reagan Whitlock, and he's 30 points behind. Zachary Fitzwater and Alexander Rowe tied for 5th in the points, both 31 points behind coming into tonight's event. Brad Stover won the pole position last night. Before we begin with the Turkey Hill Series race, Brad Stover will be starting on the pole position in the number 99. He'll be starting alongside the number 5 machine of Keegan Thompson. Of course, Thompson had a good run going for him in Atlanta, but slipped up in that race. See if he can rebound as he starts on the outside pole. Diego Yepes and Sebastian Cucalon will make up row number 2. Eli Bright in the 33 alongside Herja Larvin Alonso. Second in the points, Reagan Whitlock will be alongside a Daytona 500 champion of Alexander Rowe in row number 4. And then Las Vegas winner Jesse Turner will be alongside Trey Bartow. How about that row number 5? Champion and a guy who's won a lot of races. Of course, they both won a lot of races in this series before. Probably a combined 12 or 13 wins between those 2 drivers in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series alone. Just in that very row. It's a very special row right there. I love those guys. Make sure everyone's rolling off here from Homestead. Like I mentioned, 54 laps. We're expecting a one-stop race here tonight. Not entirely sure how long the field window is going to be. I'm imagining it's going to be roughly 30 laps, which is going to put us just past halfway in this 54-lap race here tonight. So hopefully we will not have any issues with fuel mileage like we did last week. But if it happens, it happens. That's just the way it goes, and whatever happens is going to happen here tonight, and a lot will happen here tonight as we come to the green flag. We're racing in the New Era 400 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in Season 9. And they're nearly 3 wide for the race lead on the first lap of the race, but Stover will get a bonus point towards the championship. Don't know if he's going to hold on to the race lead, though, but he worked that outside lane very well through turns 3 and 4 as Eli Bright had a run but could not hold the inside. Diego Yepez looking to the inside for the race lead now. We'll have to see if he can get that run. Help from Eli Bright down on the inside lane, and Yepez will in fact clear Brad Stover for the race lead. 3 wide for third. Thompson going to shoot the middle as Reagan Whitlock works the inside lane. Now Whitlock knows how to get it done here. Like I mentioned, won this race in season number 1. First time we ever came to Homestead on Napa Fam, this guy was in victory lane. That's how long he's been racing. Of course, he hasn't been in every season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but I would watch out for this guy. He is definitely a threat to win this championship as a veteran on a solid team, driving the number 92 for Full Frontal Motorsports, coming into this race second in the points, and he's won here before. Won a couple times in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and we'll have to see what he can do as he works the inside. His teammate right ahead of him, Eli Bright, going to shoot the middle there as Brad Stover walks up the racetrack, but 2 drivers have pulled away. Diego Yepez and Keegan Thompson now 1-2 here at Homestead on lap 4 of 54. And they've really pulled away. You see the gap between Thompson and the battle for third place between Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock. That's got to be a little frustrating for the Full Frontal guys because they're going side by side for the race lead, but doing that is obviously not speeding them up towards the race leaders, but now the race leaders are going side by side. Thompson to the inside of Diego Yepez for the race lead, and they remain side by side as they go down the backstretch. You see that gap. It's actually a little uncanny to see that because you got the 2 cars and then everyone else in the pack is right on each other. The other 40 cars are really close to each other here at Homestead, but Eli Bright will clear for third. Whitlock is going to file in the 4th. You got Sebastian Cucalon on the inside here. Jesse Turner's also up here in the 77. Watch out for Turner. He won in Las Vegas earlier this season. This is a similar racetrack to Las Vegas, at least with the speeds and the banking. And Turner won a Season 2 championship right here at Homestead. He finished 10th in that race, but he knows how to get it done here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and I'd watch out for him later on in tonight's event. How about Iquan Haslam? Had a really hard hit at Atlanta last time, and that definitely hurt his chances of a good run there, but got a good run in qualifying, currently inside the top 10. Cucalon almost moving him up the racetrack right there. They're still 3 wide, and that is for the 6th position. Turner trying to get a run, help from Nathan Baird behind him. That 16 has been fast this season. Baird's yet to win a race this season, but he comes into this race 3rd in the points, and it definitely shows how strong of a driver Nathan Baird is after he won the championship last year in this rookie season. Back to the race lead. We're going to have a crossover right here. Yepez to the inside of Keegan Thompson for first. But Thompson holding on pretty strong. Thompson's been one of the solidest rookies this season. I don't think that's the proper term for most solid, but still, Thompson has been really good as a rookie this season. I believe he's 2nd in the Rookie of the Year standings. And, of course, Bradley Ring has been just a little bit better than him, but Thompson's been up there as well for Father Fruit Motorsports. He's actually been the class of the field for this team, but even Mark Davidson's had a lot of strong runs as well in the 95. You see him just outside the top 10 back in there. But side by side for the race lead, Yepez was able to lead that lap, but Thompson holding strong on the outside lane in the number 5. Got Eli Bright here looking to the inside of Yepez. And he's got help there from guess who? Alexander Rowe. This guy, it's hard to keep him from the top position in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's been one of the strongest drivers all season long. Already 2 race victories. He almost won last time out at Atlanta as well. Had such a strong run there. But Alexander Rowe, once again inside the top 5. He's only had 2 top 5s this season. Those are his 2 race victories. Of course, he wrecked out at California, and Las Vegas was really the only race where he did not have a good run. But Rowe looking to get his 3rd win of the season. If he were to win tonight, he would have won half of the races this season already. Thompson in a battle now with the 25 for the 3rd position, but Thompson will remain in that position. Cucalon going to slip back just a little bit. Here comes Whitlock in the 92. Checking on our points leader, Bradley Ream, the number 40, in the middle of this melee. Of course, Trey Bartow falling back. He started 10th, but he's been stuck in that outside lane. We saw it last night in the Turkey Hill Series race. That outside lane is not really where you want to be here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. You want the middle lane, but if you get too far up the racetrack, you're going to fall back, and unfortunately, that's what we're seeing out of Trey Bartow right now. Got 3 wide here. That's Ace Garcia to the inside of his teammate Gatlin Downey. They were 4 wide a couple laps ago back in here, but they have settled it down midway through the field. Cody Sill's another guy who almost won here last year. Versus the winner of the Homestead race, which was the finale in season number 8, was Lucas Jacobson. Cody Sill, not doing the best of jobs right now, has had a tough season in number 37 machine. And he's currently in the last position in the battle with Thomas Troxel at the back of the field. But Diego Yepez for Beast Racing, Marty's team has not done too well yet. Of course, Fitzwater's had a lot of strong runs, and Fitzwater's top 5 in points, but neither of their drivers have really contended for race wins yet this season. But that's looking like it might change here tonight, as Yepez has led the most laps so far here at Homestead. Eli Bright is in the 2nd position, and Bradley Ream, our points leader, in the outside wall. We saw him back in there. He got loose off of turn number 4 and smacked the wall just slightly. Thankfully, it did not ensue in an accident. But he, along with Trey Barta, both falling back. He had Cameron Garlington behind the 4 machine here. Nicholas Samadeo did not get a good run in qualifying. Samadeo was another guy I think who was in contention for that race win in Atlanta. At least late in the going he was. I know he was also in contention at Phoenix, but he fell back in that one as well. But might want to watch for these guys. They're scrambling all over the place. And in the one wreck that we saw last night, it was right off of turn 2. Matthew Brown ended up clipping Zach Rogers off the corner, and Rogers then came back up the racetrack and pretty much LePaged the field. Of course, I mentioned in qualifying this race last year when it was the finale, went caution-free. Bradley Ream, our points leader, with Trey Barto, both going to the back of the field now. Barto started in the 10th position in only 16 laps. He's now in the last position here at Homestead, while Diego Yepez continues to dominate this race. It's settled out up front pretty well. But I think the tires are starting to wear out on these guys, and that's making it a little bit difficult for these guys to make moves. It might be why we've seen Barto and Ream fall to the back of the field. And we got to watch out in case we get 4 wide. I mean, 4 wide here at Homestead's not good. You don't really want to do that, and with these guys slightly bouncing off the wall, we're seeing it. It could result in an accident, and we've yet to have a caution-free race this season. I don't know if I'd be too confident in this race being caution-free with the way they're running in the back of the field right now. In the wall again, that's Silas Orta who tapped it. There's also going to be a cycle of pit stops in this race as well. That's going to be critical to who wins this race later on tonight, but it's madness back in the field here. They still have not figured it out, and they're actually losing some time to the rest of the field here. Pole sitter, Brad Stover's in the middle of all this. He did not get a good start in this race. He's all the way back to 19th. There was 19th that last time around. You see them scrambling 3 wide pretty much throughout that entire pack, losing ground on our race leaders. Keep our eyes on that. Shane Lake started last for this race. He's already into the 14th position, doing a pretty good job, and if he can clear this pack behind him, might be able to close up on the rest of the field. But I want to stay with these guys because the way these guys are going 3 wide, it's only a matter of time before somebody makes it 4 wide, and doesn't work out too well for a lot of guys. What we saw last night, that was a bit of a 4 wide situation off of turn number 2, which caused Matthew Brown and Zach Rogers to get into each other, and I don't know, those guys could find themselves in a very similar situation. I mean, we pretty much have 2 packs now. Very interesting situation here in Homestead, but they've split it to 2 packs here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and they're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. Alex in a row. Found the opportunity to get to the inside of Eli Bright as Bright made the move on Yepez. They're going to be 3 wide entering turn number 3. Yepez is way up the racetrack in the 88 machine, and Alexander Rowe again to the race lead. Rowe has been the class of the field this season. I know Bradley Ream's the points leader, but Rowe has been the guy running up front the most consistently. Obviously, as I mentioned, already 2 wins this season. Won the best race of the season, the Daytona 500. And here he is once again leading in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, this time at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And one guy who really does not like seeing that is Stuart Gratton, owner of the driver Mitchell Henderson. Mitchell Henderson was in this ride last year. And Henderson moved over to Trans-Tasman Racing, which opened the door for Alexander Rowe, who was driving for the now defunct Wade Enterprises last season. Move over into the North State number 25, and Davey Johnson has found his driver. I think it's pretty clear to say that right now. Oh, boy! Baird had to check up through the corner, and Kukulon was coming fast. And you actually see the 13. There's a buckle on the hood there for Kukulon. He actually gained damage from that. That 16 really checked up through the corner, and Kukulon's going to pay the price. I don't think he's losing speed, but you can tell. Hopefully the graphics aren't too bad for you guys on your end, but there's a buckle on the number 13 machine. Yepes fell back to 4th. Jesse Turner is here, looking to get to the inside of the 33 of Eli Bright. And if Turner can get to the 2nd position, the top 2 guys in this race would have won 60% of the races we've run so far. And another guy who won a race earlier this year, Andrew Miller, is currently 11th, just outside the top 10. He's having a great run. And our other winner, Shane Lake, currently running 13th. Another solid run for Shane Lake. We're going to back up that win that he got at Atlanta. And I might tell you, that win that he got at Atlanta, sure, he was the only one not to come down at the end of the race, but he was still inside the top 5 before that cycle began. It was not really a stolen win for Shane Lake. He was running very strong in that race, and it was a well-deserved victory for that Velocity Racing team. Just before halfway here in the new era 400, when we get a caution-free race, especially in one of these 400-mile races, the race will go by really fast, and that definitely makes it difficult for these guys. Got a battle right there for the 3rd position. Yepes to the inside of Turner. Turner lost a little bit of ground there on Eli Bright. But all these guys are in prime position when the cycle of pit stops begin. How about Iquan Haslam? Bit of a dark horse for this one. Of course, in last night's race, Clark McKee came out of nowhere to win the race. He only led about a couple of laps. He ended up stealing that race victory away from the dominant guys. But you see Haslam here for Anderson Racing. Looking pretty strong right now. Going to move up to the 4th position as Turner falls back to 5th. Turner got stuck in that outside lane, and now Thompson and Kukulon might have a run on him. And I think that's Nathan Faden, almost in the outside wall, back in the field. Got unsure driver Mark Allen here in the 08, who won at Atlanta last week. Trying to make the most of his 2nd career Chick-fil-A Cup Series start. These guys are still scrambling in the back of the field, and one driver makes a mistake, a lot of guys are going to get caught up. Everyone's still in this race, though. All 42 drivers still on the lead lap. I don't know how many will remain on the lead lap if we remain green here at Homestead. But I don't think it's going to be too many who are going to be in contention if this thing stays green. We've clearly seen the dominant guys of this race have been Alex in a row, Eli Bright, Diego Yepes. Iquan Haslam looking strong now in that 64. He might have conserved his tires a little bit. He's moving his way through the field very nicely. We're now past halfway here in the new era 400 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series as Alex in a row continues to lead here at Homestead. Haslam continuing the battle with Diego Yepes there for the 3rd position. Turner looking to get back on Andrew Miller there for the 6th position. You got Keegan Thompson still inside the top 5. Alex in a row's teammate, LJ Semedo. Oh boy. Here we go. I said about 30 laps for a fuel run. That's exactly how it is. Just past halfway, and the cycle will begin. Eli Bright down, Matt Delio down, Cody Sill, Bradley Ream, and a lot of guys from the back coming down. We're going to have to see if these guys get an advantage. I think tire wear has definitely been significant in this race, and that slowed these guys down just a little bit. We're going to have more guys come down this time. They got to be careful coming down as well. We're not going to have as much trouble on this track as they did on the older version that we originally used. Everyone coming into the pit lane very nicely here. And everyone coming in the pit lane, basically. I think the only guy who stayed out there was Andrew Miller, and he's got some right side damage to his race car, and that would lead me to believe that he was going to try to come down, but had contact and got spun off. Eli Bright's going to win the race off of the guys who came down the lap before. And we'll have to see where Alexander Rowe ends up falling in. There he is in his pit stall. And it's going to be a 4-tire stop for all these guys. You definitely want to make sure you have some fresh tires here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We've definitely seen it as this race has gone along. That tire wear is significant and makes it a little bit harder to make moves on the racetrack. These guys getting up to speed in the back of the field. There's Eli Bright coming down the front stretch. He's going to have a bit of an advantage, I believe. He was second when this cycle began, and I would almost imagine he's going to beat Alexander Rowe off the pit lane. But he might not. We'll say one guy who's going to gain is Matt Dalio in the 75. And he came down right there with the 33 of Eli Bright, and he's going to move himself inside the top 10. Dalio, the Season 4 winner here at Homestead. Looking to strike for a possible race victory. He's going to have a shot at this one. Andrew Miller's going to lose a lot of time in the 24. I think they had to repair damage in that machine. As you see him on the pit lane, he's going to really fall back in this race. Such a tough break there for this Ideal Motorsports driver. Of course, had that awesome win at the California Speedway a few weeks ago. But he's going to almost go to the back of the field. Keegan Thompson as well. Some struggles there on the pit lane for the 5 team. They've fallen all the way back. Currently in the 41st position. Brad Stover, our pole sitter, is now in last. And Miller is 41st. That's how significant pit stops are at a place like this. So the top 5. Alexander Rowe, Eli Bright, Iquan Haslam, LJ Sameto, Alexander Rowe's teammate, and Matt Dalio in the 75. What a great run for Dalio in this machine. He was not in the lead pack, let me tell you that much. He was deep in the field, but he came down before anybody else along with Eli Bright, and here he is in 5th with a shot at the race victory. Yepez is 6th. Shane Lake backing up his race victory very nicely. How about Cody Sill? Cody Sill was at the back of the field not too long ago, and all of a sudden he's in 8th now. Turner not falling off too much in the 77, and then Salmon Oskin rounding out the top 10. His teammate Gatlin Downey in 11th. John Arndt and his teammate Bradley Reamer side by side. We haven't really talked about John Arndt that much this season. But decent run for John Arndt so far here, and Bradley Ream rebounded pretty nicely as well. I mean, Bradley Ream was in last place at one point in this race, and now he's inside the top 15. Fisher G and Nikolai Sykes rounding out the top 15 right there, and then you got this gaggle of cars, but they are much more spread out, and when they get spread out like this, odds are they're not going to wreck. And odds are we're going to have ourselves a good race for this race win. Matt Dalio and LJ Sameto, that's the closest battle right now. Dalio looking to get an advantage on the inside of the number 66 machine. Of course, the Meliolo Smooth Fest winner. I actually forgot that Dalio won the Smooth Fest earlier this year. Outer Island Motorsports has been struggling. They did get the win with Jesse Turner, but McMillan has had such a tough season so far up to this point. Battle for second. There goes Haslam to the inside of Eli Bright. That is for the second position. But I gotta be honest with you guys. I think these guys are tired of seeing Alexander Rowe lead these races. Alexander Rowe, if I'm not mistaken, might have led the most laps last week at Atlanta. He led the most laps in the Daytona 500. He led the most laps at Phoenix. And if he wins this race, most likely he'll end up leading the most laps in this one as well, which means he would have led the most laps in 4 of the 6 races we have had this season. This team has figured something out. Alexander Rowe has figured something out, and I am not surprised that it's Alexander Rowe doing this. This guy's been in the series' 4th season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And even though we're still early on in this season, it has by far been the best season for Alexander Rowe in this series. And great to see a bit of a renaissance out of this driver. Had a tough sophomore and junior year here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but his senior year hopefully won't be his last year. They're doing pretty good. But I will say, these guys are closing in here. I'd watch out for Dalio. I really would. This guy is known to strike. He's to the inside of LJ Sameto right there. Of course, Dalio broke a 2-year losing streak on NapaFan, not just in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but on NapaFan in general at Indianapolis last September. And he did not get through that corner well, and Yepez is going to strike on him right there. I would watch out for Yepez as well. I'd watch out for this guy, Iquan Haslam to the inside. Looking to become the second rookie winner this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's got to run to the inside of Alexander Rowe for the race lead. Lap 40 of 54 here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Side by side of the line. Rowe's going to barely lead that lap, but Haslam's going to have a run on the inside. I watch out for Yepez as well. I think Yepez is going to have a good shot at this race victory. They're starting to swarm Matt Dalio. Dalio might have used up his stuff trying to get around Semedo in the 66. Yikes! Didn't know he had him cleared there, but in fact he did. And 75 will remain in the 5th position. He will finally get around LJ Semedo, but that was a close call right there. Still side by side. Ikwon has him doing all he can to get to Alex in a row, but that's bringing in Yepez and Eli Bright behind him. And now that's brought Dalio back into this mix. And Shane Lake looking to get his 2nd straight win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but this time, he wants to just get it outright. And have to use fuel strategy to get it. There goes Ikwon has him to the race lead as he gets around Alex in a row. And here we go. 3 wide for 2nd. Matt Dalio to the inside of Diego Yepez and Alex in a row. Eli Bright's in that outside lane. He might get a good run through the middle. We got contact between Yepez and Rowe. Surprised we haven't had a caution in this race. Only 12 laps left here at Homestead, but they've run a clean race, but they've been bumping off each other in this one. Even though we haven't had a caution, it hasn't been without contact here tonight. Dalio trying to shoot that middle gap, but it's hard to do so when you're already on the inside. Eli Bright going to try to shoot the middle between Dalio and Yepez. It is getting really racy up front, and they're letting Ikwon Haslam pull away with this thing in the 64. Yepez will clear to 2nd. Dalio will clear to 3rd. And I'd imagine in not too long of a time, they're going to close back into Ikwon Haslam in the 64. And Alex in a row now falling back in the 25. He might have used up his tires right there. Here comes Cody Sill in the 37. Sill's going to get to the inside of the 25 machine as well. And Rowe going all the way to the back of this pack. I'll have to see if they close in on lap traffic. I don't think they will. Both Miller and Stover are running full speed. And they're 21 seconds behind. They're about 20 seconds behind once the cycle ended. It's lap 45 of 54 here at Homestead. Everybody still on the lead lap. No caution yet in this race. We might have ourselves our first caution-free race of the year here. It's gone by really fast. That's the name of the game here when you get a race like this, especially when they're spread out like this. Odds are they're not going to wreck. And with a lot of single-file racing going on, it's looking like it's going to be a clean one to the finish. 10 laps to go at Homestead. In the new era of 400, Diego Yepez, he's got the back bumper on Haslam, but Dalio is here as well. Dalio's going to be in a good position if these guys go side by side. And they are going to go side by side. Diego Yepez to the inside of Ikwon Haslam for the race lead. Side by side for the top position. Will Dalio find a way to strike on these guys? Looks like Yepez is going to get right by the 64. And Dalio's going to try, but Dalio's going to get stuck on the inside of the 64 machine off of the 2nd turn. But Haslam going to try to get a run on the outside of Yepez. He's not going to be able to do it. Dalio going to try to shoot the inside and push Haslam up the racetrack. Dalio's got the faster line through the middle, and he's going to go to 2nd. 8 to go here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for Diego Yepez. Yepez has had a solid race. He started in the 3rd position here tonight. Matt Dalio, however, started a little bit deeper than that. Can't remember exactly where he started in this race, but it was not up front, I'll tell you that much. Came down with Eli Bright the first lap of the green flag pit stops, and he gained the advantage on the tires. However, at this point, Yepez is going to have slightly fresher tires than the 75. We'll have to see if that comes into effect. 7 laps to go in the new era 400. You see them. They're going single file down the front stretch. And they're pretty much single file throughout the entire field. You got this 2nd group right here led by Patrick Smith. These guys are having a little bit of battling. Nathan Barrett, Daniel McMillan in the middle there. Nathan Faden in the 12, but they're all keeping it very clean through the middle of the field. Haslam going to get back to the inside of Matt Dalio. That's going to hurt Dalio's chances of this race victory. And Haslam might still have a shot on Yepez for this race win. Oh boy, Dalio wants to clear Haslam, but the more they go side by side, the harder it's going to be to catch up to Yepez. We only have 5 laps to go in this race. If we get a caution, that's going to do it. So let's hope this thing stays green to the end. Dalio's not going to make it easy on Ikwon Haslam. But I think Dalio's chances of winning this race are going to end right there. We'll have to see. If he can stay right behind the 64, maybe follow him to the back bumper of Yepez, he might still have a shot. But Haslam, you got to watch out for him now. He might have a shot on Yepez for this race lead. Beast Racing, they would love to get a race victory with Diego Yepez. Of course, Yepez was full from the Motorsports last year. moved over to the Beast Racing organization this year. And I know Yepez would love to get a race victory here tonight. And only the 6th race of the season. It's been a tough start to the season for Diego Yepez. Shane Lake tapped the outside wall right there. And Dalio was looking on Haslam off of turn 4, but did not make the move. That might work out in Dalio's favor, because here comes Iquan Haslam. Next time by, it'll be 2 laps to go here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in the New Era 400. And Iquan Haslam, rookie driver, with a huge run of Diego Yepez for the race lead. They're going to go side by side for the top position, and Dalio's in 3rd looking to strike. Look who's 4th, Cody Sill in the 37. Yepez is going to try to work the outside on Haslam. That might bring in Dalio for this top position. We're going to have to see. Next time by, it's the white flag in the New Era 400 at Homestead. Iquan Haslam looking to take the lead away. Dalio got loose through the corner, and Cody Sill's going to take 3rd. White flag in the air. Iquan Haslam. Will he win his first ever Napa fan race here tonight? Or will Yepez get his 2nd Cup Series win? Or will Cody Sill surprise us all? To the inside for 2nd goes the 37. And Alexander Rose up here too. Sill's going to have to clear these guys now if he's going to have a shot on the 64, and that is not going to happen. Another rookie's going to win here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This time, it's going to be his first ever Napa fan win off of turn 4. Iquan Haslam has won the New Era 400 at Homestead. A side-by-side battle between Sill and Dalio for 2nd. Cody Sill going to finish in the 2nd position here tonight. And Matt Dalio rounding out the top 3 as Alexander Rowe gets his 3rd top 5 and Yepez falls to 5th. John Arndt will finish in 6th. LJ Samedo, Eli Bright, Salmon Oskin, and Gatlin Downey. And our first caution-free race of the year. There's a fast one here from Homestead in this 54-lap event, but Iquan Haslam for Anderson Racing. Julius Anderson, the owner of this team. They are going to be celebrating in victory lane tonight. As you take a look at the rest of the official standings right there, Brad Stover started on the pole for this race and finished dead last, but everyone finished on the lead lap here tonight. That is an impressive feat right there. Like I mentioned, no cautions. We had a lot of contact in the race, but nobody had any engine failures or tire issues or anything like that. It's not every day you see everybody finish on the lead lap in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race. It does not happen often, and our first caution-free race of the season for these guys is going to go to the rookie driver, Iquan Haslam, taking it away in the 64 here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. I won't talk too much longer because I know you guys want to see the points. Doing a little bit different with the editing, going back to the old-fashioned way with these races, just to save some time because I absolutely hate editing. And go ahead and see who the points leader is going to be. I would watch out for Alexander Rowe. He is 31 behind. Bradley Ream's still going to have the advantage on him, and I'd imagine Bradley Ream will remain in the points lead, and he will. But Alexander Rowe's going to move up after his 3rd top 5 and his 4th top 10 of the season. Going to be interesting to see what he can do as the season goes along, because that 25 team definitely looks strong. But Iquan Haslam had a strong car here tonight, and he played a very smart race, getting around Diego Yepez there at the end. And our next race is going to be at Texas. Another 500-mile race there for the Interstate Batteries 500, and that's the original version of Texas as well. That place is a little wild, and it's going to be a fun one once we head down there to Texas for the 7th race of the season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Iquan Haslam. Remember, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, stay within 6 feet of other people, don't hoard toilet paper, and just be safe out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.